Good morning, friends. We're going to get our day started with a biblical perspective here together on A Moment with Hales. We're going to be spending the beginning of 2025 talking about enjoying God's peace, or living in a state of enjoyment because of God's peace. And to enjoy means to delight or take pleasure in. It also could be savoring the moment. Sometimes I think it's really easy for us to forget to enjoy life. I know that's one of my struggles that I've always had. Sometimes it really feels like some days we're just getting through. That was actually me yesterday, which was funny because that was how I felt right after I wrote this podcast. And other days it feels really hectic and we don't really even know what's going on. And sometimes I think it's a fair question that all of us probably ask, was this life even created for us to enjoy? Because sometimes life just feels really, really hard. Going back to creation, I didn't find a verse that says God saw Adam and Eve were enjoying their daily life and he said it was good. But in Genesis 1, it does say, "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them and said to them, 'Be fruitful and increase in the number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the sky and every other living creature that moves on the ground.'" So God put Adam and Eve in a perfect garden, and he told them to rule over the earth and the animals. And honestly, living daily in a non-GMO, organic, God-ordained garden sounds really delightful, but we all know that's not where the story ends. Of course, sin entering the world really complicated things. However, I would say there's a strong argument based on scripture. Even though we live in a fallen world, we're actually still responsible to make sure we take the time to enjoy our lives. The book of Ecclesiastes has a lot to say about enjoying life, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love the book of Ecclesiastes, and maybe I love it so much because I struggle with enjoying day-to-day life, and Solomon really tells us that's what we should be doing. Solomon was the richest man to have ever lived. He had everything he could want, and it's a really cool book to read. You really should check it out. Also, did you guys know some conspiracy theories say that Solomon may have had a magic carpet? I don't think there's any way to prove that, but I still think it's a really cool thing. But going back to Ecclesiastes, Solomon writes, "The light is pleasant, and it is good for the eyes to see the sun. Indeed, if a person lives many years, let him rejoice in them all. But let him remember the days of darkness, for they will be many." Here, Solomon encourages us to enjoy life as long as we live, because life, like the pleasant light of the sun, soon gives way to the dark note of death, which lasts forever. In other words, he reminds us that we only get one shot at life. We will never return to life in this specific way or this specific season. As my dad so often reminded me growing up, you only live this day once. We don't get replays, friends. We get this day, January 10th, 2025, one time. We've got one chance to enjoy it and make the most of this day. Solomon continues, "Rejoice, young man, during your childhood, and let your heart be pleased during the days of your manhood, and follow the impulses of your heart and the desire of your eyes. Yet, know that God will bring you to judgment for all these things. So remove sorrow from your heart and keep pain away from your body, because your childhood and the prime of life are fleeting." It is our responsibility to enjoy life in a biblical way. Yes, Solomon's writing here to the youthful one, enjoy whatever you see or you desire. But in the midst of your enjoyment, remember that you are accountable to God for all of this. God gives the gift of youth with its strength, its positivity, its dreams, hopes, and opportunities. And our youthful years must be lived with a biblical perspective. We will be accountable for them. Now, for my phase of life, I love verse 10, and I also wonder how old Solomon was when he wrote this. "So remove sorrow from your heart and keep pain away from your body, because childhood and the prime of life are fleeting." Our youthfulness is fleeting. Our youngsterness is fleeting. Now, I know I'm not super old, but I'm also not like a spring chicken. I would say I'm kind of in my mid-years-ish. And the trend nowadays, I think, is to stay youthful for as long as you can. If that's not in lifestyle, then in your looks. But scripture tells us We're not going to be 22 forever. It says, do not be beside yourself or sorrowful because your youthfulness fades. That's life's design. Aging is to be expected, ladies. God did not create us to be youngsters, or as my husband says, youths, for all of our lives. God takes us through a cycle of life because we are eternity bound. I've really been thinking about this hitting my mid-30s, which I know I'm still young, but it feels kind of old. I do feel like I can say my youthful age is probably behind me. I'm still young, but I don't know if I would say I'm a youthful youngster running around. I've talked to a lot of my friends who are in their mid-30s too. Life really has flown by in a blink of an eye. Their kids are growing up. I can't believe my husband is 40. Time is flying, and our season we've gone through many different seasons. Does this mean that we're worthless? No, but the bottom line is we're only going to get older from here. But aging is an opportunity that some do not get to experience. And coming to grip with the reality that we are getting older doesn't need to make me upset or sad. I mean, there's going to be moments, obviously, you're going to feel those things. But knowing that I'm getting older or seeing a wrinkle or a gray hair should all be motivating factors to me to relish the day and the season that's in front of me and not to make me disappointed. After my dad passed away, I started really making decisions, and I don't know if this is the healthiest thing, but this is what I did. I started making decisions on the question, will I regret this if I don't do it? And one example I have is this podcast. I really wanted to do it, but I was really scared to do it. But I knew that if I didn't do it, I would always wished I would have done it. So I decided I needed to just do it. Another one is going to the UP in the fall. I really want to go to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in the fall. I never have, and I'll regret it if I don't, so I really need to make that happen. But all of this to say, I've really been motivated to take inventory of how I'm spending my time and then filter those activities based off what I know I would regret not doing. This has helped me motivate myself to prioritize how I actually want to spend my time, which has helped me build things into my life that I actually do that make me enjoy my days. This helps me enjoy my life because I know I'm spending time doing things I actually want to do and have made a priority in my life. This has also changed my perspective on meaningless tasks like laundry or making dinner or different things. It's made me enjoy those tasks more. I also just want to say too, giving up social media, I know I'm on YouTube, but for the most part, giving up Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff, and trying to eliminate screen time as far as television goes in my life. I'm not perfect at it, but I definitely watch way less TV than I used to, and news and all of that. Eliminating that from my life has given me so much time. A lot of people will say, how do you have time to do all of this? How do you have time to do all of that? It's because I've taken inventory of my life and taken out the things that I know I would regret doing. Am I really going to one day want to sit back and be like, wow, I spent, X amount of hours on social media a day, and it made me feel really bad about myself. I'm really glad I spent my whole life scrolling. Or am I going to want to think, okay, what do I really want to do? And I need to do it so I don't regret not doing it. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the perspective that I really have been convicted to cultivate and that I've been pursuing the past few years. So friends, whatever season of life you're in, maybe you're a youngster getting started in life out of high school, wide-eyed and excited of the possibilities, which is awesome. Maybe you're someone in the thick of not sleeping, dirty diapers, and perhaps a surprise baby along the way. Maybe you found yourself in an unexpected phase of life that you're really puzzled about. Or you're someone starting a new chapter and you need to find a new purpose because the page has turned and you're starting a brand new season. Wherever you are, friends, whenever you are, friends, remember what Solomon says. Indeed, if a person lives many years, let him rejoice in them all, but let him remember the days of darkness, for they will be many. You only get this day once, friends. Enjoy it. Well, thanks for listening. You're an encouragement to me. I just want to do a little update here at the end. I do have a YouTube channel. If you haven't followed me there, it's A Moment with Hales. I am going to be amping up my garden stuff. So you're going to be seeing, if you want to start a garden, go check it out. I have some different tutorials there that I'll be continuing to add to as I add to mine to this season. I am going to be doing another Coffee and Conspiracy episode shortly, and it's going to be about technocracy, which I'm going to be researching. It should be a good topic. I also am doing 52 ways I cut out processed food and chemicals from my life practically and easy, because we've all seen those podcasts that make you feel really overwhelmed. I'm just going to do one step at a time each week and upload those to my YouTube short if you want to check it out. And of course, you're going to see my chickens and my dogs, which are great little things to see as well. All right, friends, I hope you all have fabulous days. Enjoy them, and I'll be talking to you soon.